Sorry we won't have our previously scheduled Michael Jackson White or Black segment, but today we have a very serious and educational video on the Boston Tea Party. Enjoy.
After the French-Indian War, the British lost a lot of money and sought to regain it by taxing the American colonies. The American colonists felt that they were given a say in how the colonies were run. This was especially seen with the taxes imposed on them for various goods. The Americans were justified in their negative response because Britain was seen as their mother country. Colonists were extremely agitated after the Stamp Act, Townshend Acts, and the Boston Massacre. The colonies refused to pay the levies required by the Townshend Act, claiming that they had no obligation to pay taxes imposed by the Parliament, in which they had no representation. In response, Parliament retracted the taxes with an exception of a duty on tea, a demonstration of Parliament's ability and right to tax the colonies.
In May of 1773, Parliament concocted a clever plan. They gave the struggling East India Company a monopoly on the importation of tea to America. The glorious King George III and the mighty Parliament have enacted a British Tea Act on the American colonies. The Dutch East India Company will be having a monopoly over the American colonies. They will sell the tea for half the price. Long live the King. Additionally, Parliament reduced the duty the colonies would have to pay for imported tea. The Americans would get their tea at a cheaper price than ever before. However, if the colonies paid the duty tax on the imported tea, they would be acknowledging Parliament's right to tax them. Tea was a staple of colonial life. It was assumed that the colonists would rather pay the tax than deny themselves the pleasure of a cup of tea. All them Brits keep putting taxes on us. They don't care what we have to say. They say we have virtual representation, but I don't make it out to be that way. We will never give up what we stand for. They will never push us right out that door. We're America, and we always stay close, and we never let go. Oh, we never let go. We're not gonna stop, that's who we are. We'll lay our bodies down, no task is too far. Back away from us, this land is ours. Bet on a, bet on a, bet on America. We need to take a stand, that day's today. The Boston Tea Party, that is the way to turn our lives around. I mean what we say. Bet on a, bet on a, bet on America.
The Tea Act was one of the first time that all the colonists throughout the country felt that virtual representation was really no representation at all. They felt united against the oppression of the British government. All the American colonies felt a sense of nationalism for really the first time. They felt that this was their time to stand up and defend their rights. They defended their position by quoting English philosopher John Locke's two treatises of government, which said that all people were equal and independent, and none had a right to harm another's life, health, liberty, or possessions. The Sons of Liberty, a freedom fighter group, decided to take action as they had done before. The Sons of Liberty were known for tar and feathering tax collectors and speaking out against British acts against the colonists. Samuel Adams, their leader, decided to take a drastic action against the Tea Act. On Thursday, December 16, 1773, around 60 members of the Sons of Liberty went over to the Boston harbor, boarded 3 ships of the East India Company, and dumped over 10,000 pounds of tea.
Say you want a revolution, well, you know, we all want to change the world. Tell me that it's evolution, well, you know, we all want to change the world.
It was now evening, and I immediately dressed myself in the costume of an Indian, equipped with a small hatchet. When I first appeared in the street after being thus disguised, I fell in with many who were dressed, equipped, and painted as I was, and who fell in with me and marched in order to the place of our destination. In about 3 hours from the time we went on board, we had thus broken and thrown overboard every tea chest we found in the ship. Let the boxes hit the floor. Let the boxes hit the floor.
What are you doing? This is madness! Madness?
Undoubtedly, Parliament was furious and retaliated by passing the coercive acts, which included closing the Boston harbor, housing British troops in America, and allowed the governor to move trials of accused royal officials to another colony, or even to Great Britain. The closing of the Boston harbor resulted in Boston not being able to export and import, or make money and get goods. However, the other colonies responded in a sense of unification and nationalism that was never seen before. Other colonies boycotted British goods, sent goods and money to Boston, and most importantly, promoted sympathy for Massachusetts and encouraged colonists from the otherwise diverse colonies to form the First Continental Congress. The Continental Congress created the Continental Association, an agreement to boycott British goods, and if that did not get the intolerable acts reversed after a year, to stop exporting goods to Britain as well. The Congress also pledged to support Massachusetts in case of attack, which meant that all the colonies would become involved with the American Revolutionary War, which began at Lexington and Concord. The Boston Tea Party marked the beginning of violence in the dispute between mother country and colonies.
Sorry, I don't normally like to cry in front of people, but that truly hit my heart. Wow, that was one of the most heartfelt moments in American history. Oh, in other news, unfortunately, this has to be Today Entertainment's last video. We were bought out by a couple $1 million by Fox, so we're not that upset. See ya!
Run, Torin, run!
Here we go.